Hey guys, and thank you for coming back to my channel. Thank you for joining me again for one of my JJ talks. I have had a few of you email me, so thank you very much for that, because this segment would not exist without you. So if you guys haven't already seen my other video, this is where I give advice to anyone who needs it. And yes, let's get started and see how it goes. So I got an email from this lovely girl. Obviously it won't be mentioned, this is all anonymous, but here we go. She says, "Hey girl, so the other day my boyfriend suggested I move back in with my mum, as I live with him and pretty much have been since we were dating. My mum's house is emotionally abusive, so I don't know why he would want me back in that situation. He said he wants space, but he doesn't want to break up, as we are serious and we always talk about the future together. We are 19. Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for sending in this question. Now, this is sort of something that I'm going to give you advice on that might not so much be helpful for this situation necessarily, but maybe for any other situations in the future, and it's definitely a learning curve. We are all constantly learning, and you will need to take on board my advice in the future more than you are now. So, what I can say is, what you need to remember is, first of all, it's great that he doesn't want to break up, he just wants his space. Firstly, what he's trying to address is maybe he's not so used to spending so much time together. If you are living in a house where it's just the two of you, that means before then he was probably living alone. So this is a huge change for him and a new experience, and even if it's been, say, a year or 2 years, it can still all of a sudden dawn on you that you've constantly got someone right there kind of on your back. Even if you're not annoying him per se, even though you're not actually doing anything to bother him, some people just feel like, whoa, this is too much. Like, I need to step back. I need to get back to what I was. Maybe say he was working out and he doesn't work out as much because he's always involved in what you guys do, whatever it might be. But that's just an example. Now, you got to remember, in a relationship, each party still needs to have their individuality. You still need to be strong people on your own in order to really have a successful relationship together. That's when two strong people and two, not necessarily strong like aggressive or not like that, but more, you know who you are inside sort of thing. Anyway, those two things need to meet, and you need to not lose yourself, and he needs to not lose himself. So a good idea might be saying, okay, how about we trial it out? Not a permanent thing, but trial it out. I will find a place or find a friend maybe that you can stay with for a little bit, see how that goes. Because at the start of my relationship with my partner, we said, okay, I've been staying at your house way too much. We need to take like a little bit of a, step back. This is all moving very fast. Let's just I'll go back to my place tonight and see how that goes. And surely enough, I slept peacefully and that was fine. And in the middle of the night, he was calling me, and when I woke up in the morning, I see all these messages, only to find out that the whole time he was parked outside waiting for me to wake up. He couldn't be separated from me, and he didn't realize. It's kind of one of those, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. Now, that can be just one of the million possible scenarios that he's feeling. Maybe he just needs to see what he's got. That's just one of the possible scenarios. Now, another thing could be that he genuinely does need his space. He's a very, individual. So he needs his space, he needs his time. If maybe the place that you're staying in is too small, or you're sort of confined to a 1-bedroom place, maybe if it is possible, maybe if you guys get a 2-bedroom place and you can afford that, that would be great, so that he's got his space and you've got your space. You can have a room where, whether you like to do DIYs or whatever it is, you have your own room and space to do that. And he's got, say, for example, his Xbox and PlayStation, and he wants to just get away, and he's got his own room to do that. And that kind of really, I find, helps a relationship. So obviously you'll still have 1 bedroom to sleep in, and you'll have your own, and say he'll have the lounge room for his whatever he wants to do. And that can be a healthy way to overcome that sort of thing. Now, those are two things that I know about and I speak from experience, so I guess that's why I give that sort of advice. But you've got to keep in mind something as well, and this took me a long time to learn. And this comes from seeing my mum go through her divorce and seeing me go through exes and all the rest of that. What you need to do in a relationship, the most important thing is be able to financially support yourself without that person in your life. You need to create an income, whether it's just day-to-day work, create your own business, whatever it is. Have enough income for you to exist solely on your own. And this is going to help you so much for the future. I found that when you don't have your own finances, and I don't mean like you can't share and you can't pay for his stuff and he pays for yours, not like that, but so more along the lines of you need to have money coming in that if anything were to happen, you can say, okay, I've got that money, I'm good. So I mean, you are 19, but you're also living with him, so I guess you're old enough and like obviously you're mature enough to know how it is to live outside of home. So if you don't want to go back home to mum, then what you can do is say, okay, perfect, that's no problem. I'm going to find my own place, my own apartment, or whatever it is, or share with a friend. And then that way you've got enough money to do that without stressing out about, okay, I'm basically being kicked out. I don't know what to do. I don't have the money for this. All that sort of stuff. Now, he should be more considerate in the sense that if he does know how it is with your mum and what you guys have battled through, he probably shouldn't, I don't know how he said it, but he probably shouldn't have put it in a way that, look, you need to leave, you need to go back to your mum's. But in his head, he might not have even thought about that and thought, you know what, I'm at breaking point. I just need a bit of space. I don't want to break up with this girl because I care for her and I love her and I want this to work, but I just need a breather. So don't take it in the wrong way necessarily, but just kind of see where he's coming from and how you can sort of assist him in overcoming that. Whether it is, like I said, whether it is talking to him about, getting a slightly bigger place and separating your, rooms or whatever. And there are options, but if he still wants you out, that's totally fine. You've got to now come to an understanding that you need to kind of stand on your own 2 feet for once, and not in a bad way, but like you need to like be strong and say, look, that's totally fine, and go ahead and make it available for yourself to feel comfortable as well without him there. And like I said, it might not help in this situation and you might go through a real struggle like I did myself in a past relationship when this happened and when it happened with my mum. Like all this stuff, all I could say is plan for the worst case scenario. If it's not for this time, at least you'll know for next time that you need to make yourself ready for a circumstance like this. And not just, I've got to get my own money, I've got to save up my own money just so that if my boyfriend wants to kick me out, I'll be fine. No, but just there's certain things in life that, say one day you woke up and said, look, I'm not happy with where we're living right now and I need to get myself out of the situation. Say the roles were reversed and it was you who wasn't happy in this circumstance, and say he couldn't afford it. You need to have enough finance to say, look, I think this would be the best idea for us. I'll take it from here. Let's move out. Let's get a bigger place. And if you don't like it, then we can discuss further options. But you need to have that balance where you have a say and you're not scared that, whatever it is. And look, if you do already have money and that's not the issue here, because you haven't mentioned that, I'm sort of just like sitting here guessing at why it would be difficult for you to find a place that's not your mum's place. But if that's not the case and it's just purely he's like, oh, go to your mum's because he doesn't want you living alone or whatever it is, in that case, it's kind of like, well, do what you want to do. What feels right in your heart other than staying with him. Because at the moment, that's not a situation that that he's made clear. I mean, I'm sure it's been hard for him to come out and say this, and bravo for him for doing so. But you need to just say, look, it's fine. You do you, like, and I'll do me. And it doesn't mean you guys are going to break up. Sometimes it just has to come into like an understanding between two people. And if you genuinely care for each other, it will come together. Or maybe you'll find that, you're better off as friends. Whatever the scenario is, I'm not saying that that's the case, but whatever the scenario is, you have to put you first. And I've said this in my previous advice video. Women today need to be, and it's not just women today, like we need to be as human beings reliant on ourselves and not expect something to come from another person. We need to find ourselves, love ourselves, and I think that's the most important thing, because it's been so many years for me to get that through my head and understand that if we don't look out for ourselves, don't ever expect to be happy. Because if you live the rest of your life expecting someone else to be caring for you and looking after you and looking out for you and putting you number one, you might not end up ever receiving that, and you might end up really, really distraught over it. So don't let that be you. I guess that's all I have to say about this situation. I hope it all works out for you. And ladies, or gents, if you guys need advice on anything, I'm talking anything, it's not just love, it's everything. So any advice you need, please contacted me. Yep, past tense, that's the one. But no, contact me, feel free, email me all the details will be down below on how to get in contact with me. And just know that I love you, and just remember so I don't get sued. No, but just remember, this is my opinion, this is my advice. I don't expect you to follow through with it. And if you do, and if it doesn't work out, I am so sorry. Maybe there's something in that to learn as well. Don't listen to other human beings, do you? All right. Thank you so much for watching this. I love you all. And it would mean so much to me if you hit that subscribe button below, and I can continue making this content for you. Love you all. Bye.